Okay, so today we're doing LeetCode question 75, sort colors. So it says, given an array of nums with n objects colored red, white, or blue, sort them in place so the objects of the same color are adjacent, with the colors in order being red, white, and blue. So we will use integers 0, 1, and 2 to represent the color red, white, blue repetitively. You must solve this pattern without using the sort function. Okay, so what the question's asking you is you're having an array called nums with a bunch of random numbers. These numbers represent colors, right? So 0 is going to represent red, 1 is going to represent white, and 2 is going to represent blue. And we want it so that 0 or red goes first, and your whites go second, and your blues go at the end, right? So you have categories, and we want to organize it in a particular way in a list. How do we do that? Well, what we're going to do is actually use a method called 3 buckets, right? So if you're unfamiliar, 3 buckets is basically 3 arrays, right? Hence the buckets. They kind of look like little buckets. And we use the 3 bucket technique when we are categorizing particular values, right? When we want values to be categorized, we do this because we organize them per array. So in this question, we want all the zeros, ones, and twos together. So if we want them all together, then all the zeros are going to go in this array, all the ones are going to go in this array, and all the twos are going to go in this array. So as you can see, this is how we're organizing them, right? Hence the 3 bucket name. So what you're going to do is basically have, we're going to call this zeros, we're going to call this ones, and we're going to call these twos. All the zeros go into this array, right? All the ones go into this array, and all the twos go into this array, right? And then with that, all we need to do is just add these together, right? To get your organized array. Boom. So now we have an idea of the technique we're going to use. The technique is going to be 3 buckets, right? Beautiful. We're going to have to loop through every iteration, which makes the big O indication of n, right? So we could start off by just creating the loop for characters and nums, right? Well, actually, we'll do for numbers and nums because that's a little bit more proper. There you go. So for the nums and nums, right, we want to make sure, well, actually first, I need to peep this, but we are going to need to make these arrays, these 3 buckets. So we're going to call this ones, twos, and we'll make zeros here. Zeros, ones, and twos, and we make our buckets, 1 bucket, 2 bucket, 3 bucket. If you wanted to, you could do 0, 1, 2, right? Like that, but this is a nicer way of doing it. Okay. If num is equal to 0, right? So if your number is 0, then obviously we want to add that to the 0 array, right? Now if num is equal to 1, then obviously we want to add that to the 1 array, right? And if number equals 2, then obviously we want to add that to the 2 array, right? There you go. Boom. So now your zeros, ones, and twos are all added up together perfect, right? Then all we need to do is basically just update the nums array. And we could just do that by nums equals, wait, no, I'm tripping. Nums at 0 to the length of nums. We're slicing, by the way. So this is basically saying from the entirety of the array, starting from 0 all the way to the end, right? We want this to be, let's see, the order is we want the zeros first, zeros plus the ones first, ones plus the twos, right? Beautiful. Now we can return nums, and this should work. So before I run it, just a little bit rundown. Actually, let me make sure this works before I embarrass myself. That's what I just, yeah, there you go. Okay, I misspelled this. Oh well. What did I say? You see, that's why I didn't even say anything. Okay, Beautiful. Let me submit it, make sure all the test cases work. There you go. Okay. So what's happening here is you are replacing all the values here with the added values of 0, 1s, and 2s. The slicing, this is slicing, by the way, when you have these brackets and you have a start and end value. Our start is 0, meaning the beginning, and our end is the length of nums, which means the entirety, the last value. And we're replacing all these numbers with 0. So you can actually add arrays together and they add the values within one another. So the zeros go first. These are where all the zeros are stored. The ones go second. All the ones are stored. And the twos, which are all the twos are stored, right? And because of that, you return nums and you get your answer, right? So just to wrap up, the question, the big O of n for this question is O of n because we loop through entire of nums at least once, right? And the technique we're using is 3 buckets, as we explained. What are 3 buckets for? Well, first, how to use 3 buckets. It's when you create 3 arrays meant for categories. We use them when we want to have things in order, categorized in a particular value. You are not supposed to use a 3 bucket technique when you have multiple, or when I mean multiple, I mean a mass amount of categorization. Because for instance, this is just 3. That's not that bad, right? But like if we had like 100, then obviously this is not going to work, right? Or it wouldn't be optimal. But overall, that's sort colors. LeetCode question 75.